welcome into a Victory Monday here on Seahawks Today. And I'm sorry if I just blew out your eardrums, but I'm so freaking excited after that performance for the Seahawks. It felt like for years in the Pete Carroll era, we would have games where you were vastly superior than your opponent and you just let them hang around. It's clear that Mike Macdonald is not going to allow that to happen while he is the head coach for your Seattle Seahawks. I'm not disparaging Pete. I'm just saying that it is fantastic to have a coach that absolutely puts away teams. Make sure that you subscribe to the channel here on Seahawks Today. You can join us on Thursday. We've got a watch party you're going to want to be a part of. You don't want to miss out. Hey, maybe you even get a cool signed jersey if you participate in some of the different giveaways and stuff like that. So subscribe to the channel. Make sure that you're around. I don't want you to miss any cool things that we're doing here on Seahawks Today. Now, we got to get into our winners and our losers against the New Orleans Saints. Of course, I'm a glass half full type of guy, so we got to talk about the winners first. And the biggest winner in this game, in my eyes, is this guy right over here. Sam freaking Darnold was fantastic. I'm not a math guy. I can't tell you what 14 for 18 is. I can tell you this, pretty darn good. It's over 50%. That's a pretty darn impressive performance to have from the QB1. And I've been told it was 78. Look at that. Shout out Miss Kretz. So I'll tell you this right now. What Darnold did the most and what impressed me the most was that your running game wasn't there in this one. And so you did actually have to rely a little bit on Sam Darnold. Now, there was some help, of course, from the special team. Shout out Tory Horton and Tariq Young. But Darnold in this one was kind of left out on his lonesome. He was going to have to figure out how your offense moved, and that's exactly what he did. He picked apart the defense of the New Orleans Saints, and they were getting some pressure on him. And he wasn't afraid to get out of some of the sacks from Jordan and from Granderson and find open receivers. Jaxon Smith-Njigba's first catch, it was great. Darnold's rolling out off his back foot, just kind of flips it up. Jaxon Smith-Njigba knows where he needs to go to get an open catch. It was great to see your quarterback come in and say, I can win you a game by still playing that game manager style. I understand it's the New Orleans Saints. I understand that they're not one of the best teams in the NFL this year. In fact, they're probably going to be drafting in the top 5. You still need to be able to see that type of performance from Darnold. And, oh, by the way, I said you need to stop the turnovers. Thank goodness he's a subscriber here to Seahawks Today. Easy for me to say. He's subbed for Seahawks Dubs, and he helped make sure that he listened to me and get us a victory there. Thank you for not turning the ball over. Darian Kendrick, speaking of turnovers, dude is a lightning rod. We call that a ball hawk on defense. A ball Seattle Seahawk. Darian Kendrick was a guy that was just thrown away, cast aside, let go by those stupid Rams in Los Angeles. And Seattle and John Schneider said, hey, we can use that guy. Mike Macdonald said, that's the type of player that I want on my ball club. And thank goodness that the front office did, because Darian Kendrick has been nails since he's been filling in. He's really been your third nickel in this defense. Well, frankly, the way he's played, he might be your number 1 nickel. He's got 2 interceptions on the year already through 3 games. Frankly, the kid should have 4. He had one that hit him right in the face against the Pittsburgh Steelers, and he had another one that he dropped in this one. He was knocking balls down, making plays in the backfield, flying around, playing old-fashioned Legion of Boom football. But in the new age, I love Darian Kendrick, man. At this point, you have to get him time on the field. I don't know if that's as a corner on the outside, as a slot corner, if he's going to be your true number 1 nickel now. Is he going to be a guy that you play in dime package? I don't care. He has to be on the field. I need to see more of number 1 on that field. Darian Kendrick, man, you are an absolute freaking winner for this squad. My third winner in this game is a rookie that we've seen ascend, and he's finally a part of what I'm going to say is the main game plan for your Seattle Seahawks. I stood on the table and I said, you have to cut MVS for Tory Horton. And that's what the Seattle Seahawks team did, and it paid off. And you're going to look at his receiving stat line and be like, 3 catches, 32, like, that's barely 10 yards a catch. Like, whatever, who cares? Wrong. You didn't watch the game then. Tory Horton in coverage, 50-50 ball, defender all over him, outstretched arms, toe tap, touchdown, easy play, fantastic. That's a great job by a rookie receiver, knowing where he is next to the sideline, but also knowing when to throw his hands. Tyler Lockett was great at this. Throw your hands late, last second, last minute, boom, there it is. Nice, easy catch. Tory Horton was fantastic, and I'm appreciative of him there, but that's not even talking about how well he was at punt return. Longest punt return in Seahawks history, 95 freaking yards for the rookie. A 2-touchdown day. He's got 3 on the year. Tory Horton's got a nose for the end zone. Our last winner for this one, Jaxon Smith-Njigba. And to me, this is just a shout out of a wide receiver that deserves credit, even though it's technically, statistically, his worst game of the year. He was fighting a sickness all day. Jordan flu game, and he comes out and he puts up just under 4 yards for 100. I was very impressed with his ability to fight back. It seemed like in every crucial moment in this game that you needed a big play, that's where Jaxon Smith was. And he was the one who came up, Jaxon Smith-Njigba, that is, came up with the big catch. I was impressed with his knowledge of where Darnold was going to go with the football when he scrambled. He always seemed to get open. And that touchdown, man, that touchdown was oh so pretty. So shout out to Jaxon Smith-Njigba getting into the end zone. Now, unfortunately, I do have to get into the losers, of which there are very few in this game. But before I do that, I got to talk about the sponsor of today's episode, and that sponsor is Prize Picks. You and I make decisions every day, but on Prize Picks, being right can get you paid. Don't miss any of the excitement this season on Prize Picks, where it's good to be right. Prize Picks is simple to play. Just pick more or less on any 2 to 6 player stat projections, and if your picks are right, you can cash in. Prize Picks invented the flex play, which means you can still cash out if your lineup isn't perfect. You can double your money even if one of your picks doesn't hit. I was playing Prize Picks on Saturday. Telling you right now, I should have used the flex play option. My 3-pick power play for last Sunday, I had Jordan Love more, 232.5 passing yards against the Browns. Matthew Stafford less than 245.5 passing yards against the Eagles. And your Sam Darnold more than 212.5 passing yards against the Saints. Download the app today and use code CLNS to get $50 in lineups after you play your first $5 lineup. That's code CLNS to get $50 in lineup after you play your first $5 lineup. Prize Picks. It's good to be right. Now, unfortunately, when you have a game like this, you do have to talk about the losers. And there were a couple losers, and some of this isn't necessarily fair. I'm not saying that this player is a loser. I'm not saying that I hate this player. I just want to say that there was some meat left on the bone for this player. Can you tell I've been eating a lot of barbecue? Kenneth Walker is one of those players. When you look at his stat line, this was the game. This was your opportunity. No Zach Charbonnet. He's out with a foot injury. You're going to get the bulk of the carries. You're going to be the bell cow. You just had a great performance against the Pittsburgh Steelers. Do the same against the Saints. And frankly, you didn't do that. You had 16 carries. Didn't even get over 40 yards. It felt like aside from 1 or 2 big runs here or there, Kenneth Walker was largely bottled up. Now, I've also been someone who's been jumping on the bandwagon and back and forth between, hey, Charbonnet, 2-headed monster, Charbonnet, 2-headed monster. This is why you have the 2-headed monster. This is why I'm here at Chat Sports, why Mike McDonald makes the big bucks in Renton and for your Seattle Seahawks. You need to have that 2-headed monster because while Kenneth Walker did find the end zone twice, they were tough sledding yards, and that's where you use a running back like Zach Charbonnet. Zach Charbonnet is more the physical pounder, physical aggressor, where Kenneth Walker's a little bit more like, he's a little bit silkier. He's a little smoother. He's like Le'Veon Bell. That's the name I was searching for. He's going to get into the open hole, and he's got the big play explosives that Zach Charbonnet just doesn't have. But Zach Charbonnet can grind out some of those yards in the middle, and unfortunately, Seattle just kind of missed him today. It didn't end up hurting you, though, thank goodness. The next loser, and this really isn't his fault. Injuries happen. And I'm not here to jump on Nick Eamon-Warry. He's a young kid. And frankly, you can only control what you can control. And Nick Eamon-Warry couldn't control what is happening right now. And that's Darian Kendrick being awesome at that nickel spot. Nick Eamon-Warry was good in his 5 plays, whatever he had in that first game against the 49ers. I was pretty impressed. He made a tackle, was in on a couple others where he didn't get marked down for the assist tackle, but he's right in that realm. He's a big physical freak. He likes to play downhill. Darian Kendrick's just played his way onto the field in my eyes. It's not Nick Eamon-Warry's fault that he got Wally pipped. Like, those things just kind of happen. That doesn't mean that I don't think Nick Eamon-Warry should play. There's just different packages now, and you're going to have a Nick Eamon-Warry package at nickel. There's going to be a package where you have to have a Devin Witherspoon, and there's going to be a package where you need to have Darian Kendrick. I mean, frankly, I might have if I was, thinking a little bit deeper onto this, maybe I should throw Reek Woolen on there as well with how well Darian Kendrick has played. It's not that they've played poorly. Nicky Manwari's fault. He hasn't even played. He's been hurt. It's just Darian Kendrick has played that much better, that well, that's put him in a position to where you have to see the field. And if he sees the field, that just means less playing time for everybody else. The last group of haters that I got to put on here, and for the losers, is the Sam Darnold haters. Look, let's be honest. This entire fan base was split. Are you going to go with Geno? Or are you going to go with Sam Darnold? And once Seattle traded Geno Smith away and it became clear, hey, you're going to go for Sam Darnold, there were backers of both quarterbacks. And I get it. Geno Smith isn't a bad quarterback. I'm not here to stand up and bang the table and say, Geno sucks. Sam Darnold's great. They're both fine. They're good quarterbacks. They're both better than average. If they do what they're asked of them, I think that both can win in this league, and both have shown that they can win in this league. Sam Darnold is proving to everyone that he isn't a Justin Jefferson merchant. He's not a Kevin O'Connell merchant. He's proving to everyone that he can be a good quarterback in this league. Too early in his career, he tried to do too much. He was asked to be a superhero, and that is not what he is. He is a quality quarterback when he is in a game manager spot. You know who else was like that? Matt Hasselbeck. And I'm not out here just to shout out my bald brother, but I'd let you know, Matt Hasselbeck, while there were some down years, there were some frustrating years, guy also got you to a Super Bowl under the right team. Not saying that this is a Super Bowl winning team. Not saying that this is a team that should be competing for a Super Bowl. Just saying, if Matt Hasselbeck can do it, why can't Sam Darnold? Let me know. Tell me in the comments, who do you think was the biggest winner from this game? Tell me who you think was the biggest loser from this game. It's a Victory Monday. Make sure that you're celebrating it the right way. Fingers crossed for our Seattle Mariners getting the job done. You're noticing I don't have a Seahawks uni on. I got a Hawkinson Hawks t-shirt on. Because why? Because I love Washington football. If you have any Washington gear you want to send my way, send it this way. I'll wear it on the show. Until next time, I'll see you later.